Hi,
Okay.
everybody. Thank you for joining today's Guru Talks. Would like to invite Atul Singh, PC member of IIT Madras Alumni Association, please give the official welcome and launch the session.
Thank you, Lisani. So, thank you, IITMAA team, for organizing another great Guru Talks. So, I take the pleasure of having introducing Dr. M. Manivannan. He is a professor of biomedical engineering at Department of Applied Mechanics. He did his MBA and PhD from IIT Bangalore. Post that, he did his postdoc training at NIST, which is National Institute of Standards and Technology, Maryland, and then at MIT. He also had a successful stint at Yantrik as a chief architect. Yantrik was a spin-off company of MIT Touch Labs that was based out of Cambridge. And he joined IIT Madras in 2005. And he had set up first touch lab in India, which I'm sure most of us would have heard about. It's known as Haptics Lab. Currently, Professor is also a visiting scientist at Harvard Medical School and is also a visiting professor at CMC Vellore. So, pleasure to be introducing you, sir. Without wasting any time, over to you.
Thank you, Atul. Thank you, Nishani. Thank you, Papaya. And thank you, IITMAA, for arranging this as a session on Guru Talk on this particular topic, which I feel it's very important at this point of time where now AI/ML is making a big wave. But what India can contribute to this particular field is a big question. That is where this talk I will try to give a small suggestion on how we can go forward. Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you,
Yes.
Professor.
Yeah, you are audible.
So before I talk about today's topic on why AR/VR wave going to be a bigger wave than AI/ML wave, and how it is going to help India, particularly in the coming days when we are talking about our government is talking about Viksit Bharat 2047, right? Before I talk about this topic, I wanted to introduce our center. Our center is called the Experiential Technology Innovation Center. It's a IOE center, research center on VR and haptics. You all know that IOE, as a part of the IOE schemes, several centers have been started in IIT Madras. And this is one of the center focusing on the AR, VR and haptics. Before this center, in this particular center, it's a completely interdisciplinary center. AR, VR, and haptics. It's a highly interdisciplinary field of research which is emerging, one of the highly exponentially growing technologies. In this center, now I'm not alone. There are 10 other faculties from IIT Madras from several other departments, and there are other faculties from collaborators from other IITs as well, and internationally leaders of AR/VR are also part of this particular center. Now, about this topic, AI/ML, which is the big wave now, but AR/VR is going to be the bigger wave, is what I wanted to do, show you today through several of data which I'm going to present it to you. Particularly how AR/VR wave is going to help us generate a lot of jobs and a lot of technologies, and particularly how India can lead this particular wave. AI/ML, we are not leading. We are just using this AI/ML, right? And hardly not much innovation is happening in India. But as far as the AR/VR is concerned, although we are not doing not much innovation as of now today, but in the future, the next 20 years, there's a lot of chance, a lot of opportunities for us to innovate and then lead the world in the AR/VR space. How is possible is what I'm going to show you. So if you look at AI/ML, it is about the data. It is about learning and reasoning and making decision about the data, about anything. It is used in many different fields. It's widely, almost all corners of life it is actually used. If you look at the AR, VR and MR, it's about the human experience. It is about mixing the real environments and the virtual environments in many different fields of where it will be useful for the human. Okay, so how these two things are actually different, and why AR, VR, and MR is going to be making a bigger wave in the coming days is what I wanted to show you. Yes. So we are running this laboratory called a Touch Lab. We started very small 20 years ago. It is called the Touch Lab or Haptics Lab. We are the pioneers of this Touch Lab or Haptics Lab in India. We are the unique laboratory in India, and still, after 20 years, also still unique laboratory in India, where we look at how our touch sensation is working and convert these technologies, whatever understanding into technologies, particularly helping the doctors in getting their skill training, right? So we have a very small contributions to many different global products. Apple phone is one of our small contributions in the Apple phone. You all know that if you are using the Apple phone, it gives you a very sharp touch feedback. The sharp touch feedback is coming from a small hardware inside this Apple phone, which is called the Taptic Engine. This Haptic engine is designed by our students in IIT Madras. I'm very glad to say that he's from IIT Madras, but worked at Apple on the design and this hardware for Apple and patented at Apple. IIT Madras doesn't have any credit for it, but we are very glad that we have trained him in this particular haptics, and he could contribute to Apple because of his training in IIT Madras. Our lab is one of the very few labs globally which can design and create such devices as for haptics experiences. Here is another small experience where we are talking about conducting user studies in the virtual world. Here is a haptic device which we have designed where we can hold this virtual object, right? So it is all still digital world only, but we can conduct the user studies. iPad, when it was first designed, it was too big, and they could realize that it is too big, and the users, it failed the studies only after it was prototyped, right? So that is when they thought that the user study has to be. So here is one device, which is again a device which we made for helping the doctors in IVF procedures. IVF is in vitro fertilization and procedure. You know that nowadays every street has IVF clinics, and this IVF doctors, they don't have any other way of getting trained in their procedures. So unfortunately, they practice on the patients directly, and then now they need to practice on patients directly on about 50 patients before they become competent. So what we have done is in the virtual reality, along with the touch feedback, we have simulated the entire procedure of taking the oocyte out, making the embryo, and then putting it back in the back in the oocyte. So this entire procedure with the touch feedback has been simulated, and the doctors can practice it any number of times, and the system gives the trainees all this data of how well they are doing the procedure, how much force they are applying, how long they are applying, when are they applying, this data is, in real time, they're shown to them, and therefore they can progress in this procedures very quickly. This is again is taken to the market, international market. You can search for fertilizer. It is available in the international market. Again, and this is a very unique product in the international market, which is helping and people in getting patient safety is what we are protecting the patients from getting damaged. Similarly, there are other procedures like laparoscopic surgery simulation with a haptics feedback. So each hand we have designed a 5 degree of freedom haptic device, which is a very advanced robotic device with a very, very minimal friction. It's all designed inside the campus. Now it is ready to go to the market. Similarly, epidural injection simulation. The women in labor, they take this risky injection to reduce the pain, and if the doctor is not trained well, no, they can damage the dura, and the CSF comes out, and the women in labor gets lifetime damage, lifetime neurological problems. So again, the doctors need to practice on real patients. About 30 patients, first patients are very risky. This procedures what we have simulated is actually protect them from the damages, right? So similarly, ultrasound simulation with the interventions with the haptics, pedicle screw training simulation. This we have developed for London Spine Clinic for one doctor, and he is taking it to the international market. Normal, very simple CPR training also with the haptics feedback. Neonatal training simulation. Just born baby has to cry, otherwise we have to do certain first aid. And this has been simulated and with a haptic and then given to the Tamil Nadu government. They are taking it to the nook and corner of Tamil Nadu to reduce the neonatal mortality rate. Not only for training, for rehabilitation also, all kinds of rehabilitation also, this AR, VR with the haptics, it can actually help. This we tried with our collaborator Sri Chitra Thirunal Institute of Medical Sciences at Trivandrum. They found out that this AR, VR along with the haptic, it is offering much faster rehabilitation, much better rehabilitation compared to the traditional rehabilitation. Now we are extending this rehabilitation with now other kinds of medical issues like mental rehabilitation. There are so many procedures which needs rehabilitation. We are exploring AR, VR based rehabilitations. We are helping these medical students as well in learning the procedure before they go to the laboratory. Here is one, but a small software what we have done. And for the second year students, they can conduct 4 different experiments in the software before they get to the laboratories. And this procedures, AR, VR procedures, we are helping the our Indian astronauts train their procedures before they get into the space, right? So not only the skill training of this Indian astronauts, but also the interior of the space in which they are going to sit is going to be designed using this AR, VR technologies. AR, VR is not about just the headset or the software. It is about the entire technology that goes as in the hardware, this goes inside the software. This can be utilized in various different purposes. That is what this the center is about. It is not about the hardware or software. It is about engineering the science of AR, VR, and haptics, and therefore developing new engineering processes or new technologies. And again, this technologies or the components that goes into this AR, VR technologies has been used in a very novel places like measuring the yoga quality. When somebody is doing the yoga, how do we know whether they are doing it correctly or not? Can we use the AR, VR technologies to measure the quality of it? And that is what we have done. We are developing a gold standard baseline for yoga for several centers in India. Krishnamachari Yoga Mantram here in Chennai and Art of Living in Bangalore. And this also is going to be we are also developing a small tool for judges evaluating the yoga as a sports. Yoga is becoming a sports. It is going to be introduced in the Asian Games in 2026 and the Olympic Games in 2028. So when we go into the sports, we need to do a lot of data analytics, measurements. These measurements can come from AR, VR. Right? So AI/ML is one thing, data analytics is one thing, but this technology is to be used in a much bigger way so that this data and AI/ML can be applied. Right. So this is again, we are working with the Ministry of Sports to take this yoga into the now Asian Games and Olympics. And this technology can again be useful in a major way for the corporate companies. So before they recruit the employees, they do psychometric analysis with a questionnaire, paper-based questionnaire. Now this can be automated. We can measure the psychometrics objectively, put on the head-mounted display, simulate several scenarios in which the employees are elicited their emotions. And then we can measure many of their responses, physiological responses, as using this the devices what we have. For example, using the eye tracking or the skin conductance or the heart rate variability or breath rate variability. So using these measures, we have come up with the index of emotional index. So just like IQ index or pH index, like those indices already established indices. Now emotional index, every employee can be given at a particular time, how this emotion and can be tracked, and therefore by grooming them to be positive employee, that the productivity can be increased. And here is another common application of this technologies: fire safety training. So we have all seen the extinguisher everywhere, but we have may not have used it. What we have done is we have taken the fire extinguisher, emptied it, added a lot of sensors and data actuators connected to the virtual reality headset. Now the users see the virtual fire, and using the real extinguisher, they have to put up the virtual fire. And how well they do is what measured and then given feedback. The process, they get trained in the fire safety. So in this way, even this very young school children also can be trained in the fire safety procedures. And with a lot of data analytics feedback, they can be grouped very well. This is again, our startup company has taken it to many different industries and corporations, even to the government agencies like Air Force and other places. So our startup companies is doing the welding simulator and the paint simulator, and there are others doing the XR training with the haptics in many different scenarios, and even helping every shops in India to have a virtual showroom in the now world. So metaverse is coming up very well now, right? So in the metaverse, we need to bring in all this our showrooms in the metaverse, and then make them compete in the international market, right? So here is one company which has made a platform to help the companies to make all these virtual showrooms. So we are helping this many PSUs, for example, Steel Authority of India, now adapting these technologies from design to sales and marketing, maintenance as well. Digital twin of this, their furnace, we are helping them to create. So another PSU we are working with is a IOCL. So we are helping them with the very different type of the fire safety training for all of their employees, right? So apart from this, being the number one institute in India, we have to develop. Now we have to do basic research as well. Apart from developing this applications or day-to-day applications, we have to do the basic science so that now we publish and then improve the rank in the world ranks. These are the few research studies we have done. I'm just going to skip it to show you some of the main topics. We have a very bigger vision than just developing the applications or doing basic research and doing publications. Our bigger vision is to develop this AR VR and bring the potential of AR VR in a much different way, much bigger way. So in the next 5 years, what is going to happen is the technologies are not going to be important, but human being is going to be the important. Right now, AI and ML is important, but in the near future, human is going to be important. Human centric is what is going to be important. Sustainability is going to be important. Resilience is going to be important. So in that case, how this technology can help putting the human at the center, right? So AIML is very good in data analytics and coming up with decision making. But AR, VR, and haptics, this experiential technology is going to make use of this AIML and then put the human at the center, put the human well-being at the center, right? Skill training at the center. So it is going to integrate not only AI/ML but also the blockchain, now 5G and IoT and all the other technologies, and put the human at the center. This is one of the main reasons I'm saying that now AR/VR, experiential technologies, is going to be a much bigger wave than AI/ML wave. AR/VR is a horizontal technologies, whereas AI/ML and blockchain, 5G and IoT, it's all now vertical technologies. This horizontal technologies, which is integrating all the other technology, all the other exponential technologies, and put the human at the center, is the one which is going to be now making a much bigger wave. And it is going to create now a lot of cross-industry applications as well. If you look at AI/ML and other exponential technologies, different exponential technologies are in different stages of development. AI/ML is at the scaling stage. There is a fourth stage you can see in the graph. The first stage is the innovation, second stage is in experimenting, and then piloting, and then scaling, and then fully scale. AI/ML is still growing, and it is in the fourth stage as of scaling, right? Can you imagine what AR/VR is at? AR/VR is at the experimental stage now. It is already getting adapted in many different places, but is still at the experimental stage. When industries starts adapting in a bigger way, then it is going to the piloting, and when everybody starts using, that's at the scaling, and finally it will be fully scaled. Then it is going to be a much bigger wave, because it is going to put the human in the center, and every corner of life is going to be now imparted with AR/VR. Nowadays, now companies, corporates are have started giving the headset to all these employees. Now people started now flying with AR headsets, with the VR headsets throughout the journey. 20-hour journey, you can put on the headsets and then travel and then feel as if you are in your room or in your wherever different places. And things are going to be much different in the five year down the line, because of the AR/VR, and AI/ML is going to definitely help, but AR/VR is going to make a much bigger wave. And here are several different technologies, whether they are experimental stage or piloting stage, and scaling stage or fully scaled. The first one is the cloud and edge computing. You can see the different percentage of whether they are experimental and scaling stage. Among all these technologies, cloud and edge computing is what mostly scaled, majorly scaled. If you look at the downline, now immersive realities technologies, they are 15% scale and not much developed at all. So I'm trying to say is that this technology is still at the experimental stage and it is growing. And when it is at this experimental stage itself, it has so much of so much of impact in the regular life. When it goes to the scaling stage and then piloting stage, it will have a lot more impact than AIML. And here is another graph which talks about the x-axis interest versus now innovation. Again, all these different technologies, exponential technologies, are plotted interest versus innovation. You can see that the applied AI has now medium interest and medium innovation as well. All over the world, now there is a medium interest and also a lot of new AI tools are being created. If you look at the Gen AI, which is down, right? That is called its interest is about 0.6, and but the innovation in Gen AI, generative AI, is very little. There are only one or two generative AI data sets are there, tools are there, and not much innovation is happening, right? So similarly, if you look at the immersive technologies, the interest as of now is very little, and the innovation also is not as much. But when the interest is this little, but it has so much of potential to impact so many different applications as far as the human is concerned, and that is it is looked at in a very positive way, and therefore it has a lot of potential to make a bigger wave, right? So this is again I just wanted to just highlight the generative AI. And AR VR is considered as the second in the top 10 emerging technology trends as far as the 2024 is concerned. AI ML is of course number one, and the next one is the AR VR. And with the lesser interest itself, it is top emerging technology, and therefore when the interest grows, it is going to be making a much bigger way. And XR is a highly interdisciplinary. It is not just the robotics, this is AR VR. It's not just about the mechatronics. It's not about the hardware. It's not about the software like computer graphics. It's not about physiology, neurophysiology, for example, or the biomechanics. It's also about the psychology. Being a number one institute in India, we teach our IIT Madras students a special course on psychophysics, which is a very unique course in India. We teach our students how do we measure the human perception. AR VR is about the experience. It's about the human perception. It is not about the hardware. It is not about the software. Therefore, now the psychophysics, the course is very important, and that is a fundamental of all the AR VR or the haptics course what we are now teaching. I also teach another course called the Haptics, which is again very unique. Virtual reality engineering, which is again unique. It's all related, but making fundamental contributions to this particular field. So the idea is that the what we teach in the course to our students is that can we measure the experience? Can we measure the human and perception? Why do we need to measure the human perception? Because only when we measure it, we can improve on it. Without measurement, we cannot improve on it. Only when we measure it, we can have a science of AR VR. We can have an engineering of AR VR. we can have a technology of AR/VR. Therefore, measuring the perception, human perception is very important. Measuring human sensation and manipulation is very important. Measurement is so important, right? So capacity to innovate depends on the measurements. If we cannot measure, we cannot improve on things, right? We stress reliability and accuracy in the measurements. And therefore, we have come up with a new field of engineering called perceptual engineering. Like a computer science, in almost all the engineering colleges now today, in the next 5 years or 10 years down the line, perceptual engineering will be there because the human being is going to be at the center. And then understanding the human being is going to be very, very important. And when we adapt all these technologies, right? And therefore, perceptual engineering will be important. All the demos, all the applications which I have shown you, it's all based on this perceptual engineering. It's all based on the measurement of the perception, and therefore, creating the technologies or engineering. Similarly, mathematics also is going to be extended using the perception. We call it as a perceptual algebra. Physiology also perceptual physiology. These are the few numbers, example numbers, perception numbers, specifically for the touch your skin and a tactile sensory system. These are all measured in the laboratory here, and these numbers are going to be useful in designing now several gadgets what we have shown you. Similarly, this is for the hand movements, and this is for applying active forces. So not only developing applications, not only developing now basic research, but also advancing the field. So the fundamental now field itself, we have to now show leadership, but we have a bigger vision. Being a number one institute in India, we wanted to show that we wanted to make India as the leader in AR/VR in the coming days. So we have a dream of making now XR corridor. What is XR corridor? XR corridor is like IT corridor. The whole world knows India's IT corridor in the last 30 years. Similarly, can we make India as a XR corridor in the next 30 years? When we make this, when we dream this, we wanted to be very careful that we should not do the mistake like what we did in the last 30 years. While making the IT corridor, most of our youngsters were known as the cheap laborer, digital coolies. So that we wanted to consciously avoid in the making of the XR corridor. So we have to make sure that our youngsters are upskill to the international level, not at the digital coolies level. So that is why we have collaborated with our Oculus co-founder. Oculus is one of the headsets, leading popular headsets in the AR/VR globally, and from the Meta or WhatsApp or Facebook. And its inventor or co-founder, Steve Lavelle, is a visiting faculty in IIT Madras, right? And himself, along with him, and we are teaching our courses. And in fact, now I'm going to teach. The next slide. I'm going to tell you that about one NPTEL course which I'm going to teach. So he's going to help us in upskilling our students, our younger generations, to the international quality, right? So to make this XR corridor, we have set up this XTIC in IIT Madras. And like the IIT Madras, we are also setting up XTIC in several other cities, networking with each one, and then grow the entire, throughout India, we will set up this XTIC branches. Each XTIC will have 3 different departments. One is the experiential space. It is nothing but the demo room with all the gadgets, with the latest development demos, so that anybody can walk in, the startup companies can walk in and experience it, get excited, and find many use cases. Similarly, running courses, not only to our IIT Madras students, but the entire community. And also, make manufacturing headset in India. We are requesting Oculus as headsets to be manufactured in Chennai, and they are seriously considering. This is one of the experience space in the research park, which was inaugurated last year. It is inaugurated by one of the Niti Aayog Atal Innovation Mission MD, Dr. Chintan Vaishnav. Along with us, our popular IIT Madras alumnus, Krish Krishnan is there. There are another alumnus, Venkat Sadhanand is there. Krishnan Balasubramaniam is there, and Sri Prakash Damodaran also is there. Right. This is another experiences space we have set up at Ranchi in SAIL. It's a SAIL chairman, then chairman, and is inaugurating and experiencing these technologies. And recently we set up at headquarters of IOCL, Mumbai, Bandra, and particularly focusing on the fire safety simulations and varieties of the fire safety simulations. And we are helping the Tamil Nadu Skill Development Center, Health Apex Health Center in Gindi. And to make this XR corridor, AR/VR corridor, no, we realized that IIT Madras alone cannot do. So we needed the industrial consortium, and that industrial consortium, we call it as a CAVE. CAVE is a consortium for augmented reality and virtual reality engineering. We have about 300 startups and industries as a member over there. And it is led by this Oculus co-founder, now Steve Lavallee, and then retired army generals and IT secretaries. First IT secretary, our one IIT Madras alumnus, and IAS officer, retired IAS officer, Sri Prakash Damodaran, and he's also helping us to lead this particular consortium, and along with the pioneers of 3D CGI and game development. These are the not only startup companies, there are professionals, corporates and consultants, and academic researchers, academic instructors also. There are several associations, brands, and CAVE partners. Some of the companies or startup companies or automobile companies, they use this AR/VR from design to marketing, and they come up with creating new tools in order to reduce the cost of it or the new use cases. This we call it as a auto cave. And similarly, now we are forming the several other verticals like educational technologies cave. We call it as a tech cave, medtech cave, AEC architecture, engineering, construction, MAE, media and entertainment, skills cave, aero cave, metal cave, military cave, heritage cave, space tech cave, ocean tech cave, environment tech cave, even in the fintech cave. Almost all all corners of life is touched by this AR/VR verticals. And now IIT Madras' main role is to train students and to conduct research, right? So now we have the responsibility of not only now training our own students, but also even the diploma and IT students also, because this is a emerging technology and we wanted to put India as a forefront of these technologies. We have to create resources, get our youngsters ready. So the responsibility is too much, right? So we have to get them ready with the theories and also the practicals. We have to get them ready with the software as well as the hardware. That is why now we are emphasizing on this, conducting this course, NPTEL course, where it's a 1 semester course, 6 months course starting August 2nd. And this co-inventor of now Oculus is also teaching this course. All the assignments and quizzes are online, but with a lot of practicals. Although it is online, with a lot of practicals, right? We have the virtual TA as well, and every week there are now 2 classes. Every class is 2 hours at 6 o'clock, so that it is now comfortable for even the working professionals. So students from many different colleges also can join. So to make it convenient, we put it at now 6 o'clock, and I hope this way we teach them the fundamentals. So there are many courses, even the Coursera and the MIT and Stanford also, there are similar courses, but not the way we emphasize on the fundamentals, not the way we emphasize on the human perception. There are no equivalent course of our course anywhere in the world. So I hope our youngsters will make avail this golden opportunity, and then upskill themselves, and then get ready for the XR corridor, and get ready for the AR VR wave coming up. So after this course, we are inviting top performers to the campus to have a hands-on for 1 week. We'll give them a opportunity to interact with the startup companies and industries here, and also the several bigger simulators, and even Steve Lavalley also is coming, and now we are inviting several other AR VR leaders as at that particular time, so that they have the rich experience and get this the whole team youngsters ready for the revolution which is coming. Last time when we offered this course, we invited top 40 performers. 9 were ISRO scientists, 1 HAL, 1 Power Grid, Post, Siemens, Sony, Nike, General Motors, and several faculties from private engineering colleges. We also run corporate familiarization workshops. So we invite corporate officers from all over India and give them a 3-day immersion without teaching them how to develop the technologies, but how to use these technologies, to give them the state of the art, so that they adapt this technology and then come up with a very novel use cases, so that they add value to their companies. And we develop XR policy and standards, give it to the government, and help the startup companies adapt these technologies better. Even Metaverse India policy and standards. Metaverse is going to be emerging. Metaverse is nothing but the 3D internet, right? So all the shops have to go there. Everybody has to interact with other social environments, right? AR VR is about now only one person or one person interacting with the virtual world, but whereas Metaverse is now one person interacting with many other persons in the 3D internet, right? So separate committee has been set up. Supreme Court lawyers, IPS officers, technocrats. It's a composite, diverse composite of committee has been set up. We released white papers on XR in India, so that everybody knows where we are and how much effort we have to do in order to lead this particular effort. So we have conducted a skill gap analysis of XR skills in India. We found out that most of the 99% of our youngsters are at the very basic application level, whereas what is needed is at the R&D level. So it is our responsibility, IIT Madras responsibility, to upskill all our youngsters, to push it to the R&D level, so that they can go up to the international level, right? So the R&D, it involves both hardware as well as the software at a different level, right? This is what we wanted to. Now we will touch upon in our course, which we are teaching one semester. It is not just the hardware, or it's not the software, it is not the application development. It is entire the user experience as well. How do we create now quality AR VR systems, so that it really adds value, so that the industries really adapts, and then makes it useful, and then adds value to the industries, right? So therefore we are emphasizing on this fundamentals and foundations: perception engineering, 3D design, UI UX, metaverse concept design and development, metaverse framework, right? We encourage open source development, so that the startups can benefit a lot. We work with Meta and Fiki, encourage 100 developers all over India, right? And we are developing the open hardware using the Shakti processor and the Bharat OS, which now IIT Madras is leading, right? We are like a software test bed. We are developing a XR test bed. XR test bed, it's very unique because now it has to simulate all the user experience, right? We have to measure the quality metrics and performance metrics when the user is experiencing the XR systems. We have to develop the standards and guidelines, certifications, particularly to the cave members. We run an ARVR newsletter, exclusive newsletter called XTIC Chronicle. There is a publication committee. It's a quarterly newsletter. We have this students body at IIT Madras encouraging students learn this the technologies, and we are planning a XR summit in the coming November. By the time the course would have completed, the top performers of the course will be invited to the XR summit. The leaders of AR/VR will be invited to this XR summit. Industry, startups, CAVE consortium members will be invited to this. So there will be a big planning, brainstorming sessions will be happening in the XR summit. Right? That is not enough. We have even a bigger dream. So there is a global war going on as far as the AR/VR is concerned. Now, all these bigger companies are vying to capture this market in India because India is the focus. All these companies, there's a particularly fight between the war between the Meta and the Google is going on, and that particular process. Now, what XTIC, IIT Madras can do in order to save India from this clutches of big corporates, Meta and Google, is what we are planning. We are planning to develop, extend BarOS to the BarXR so that now we can encourage all the startups develop for India-specific applications. Okay, so with this, let me end with a positive note that India has a huge potential to lead the world in XR and in particularly now human well-being. With a lot of traditional knowledge, I believe this will positively contribute to the XR, and XR India will now lead the XR in the world. I acknowledge all our students and then the collaborators, and I request you to join our consortium at this particular website which I've given. Now let me hand over the session to Ms. Triveni. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Professor Manivannan. I just wanted to add to the course details Professor had given. And one of the main things is that it is a live course. The recordings will be available. Many of you who are familiar with NPTEL would know that many of them are recorded sessions and you can take it anytime you want. But this also has a live component, and it will have a QA session every time there is a class, there is a session. So that's a very big advantage. You're going to see the faculty who are teaching. You can interact at the end of every session. The second one is a very good news for IITMAA members. We are very pleased to offer a 20% discount on the cost of this course. And I think the IITMAA team has more details. You can contact them and they're probably publishing it. Is that right, Nishani and Papya? You will be sending out the information?
Yes. Yeah,
All right.
I will share the sign up link by tomorrow morning to all the attendees.
All right. Okay. Thank you. So we are going to open the floor for questions now. There are a few on the chat box, and I'm going to read that out for Professor to answer. But after that, you could just raise your hand and we'll call out and we'll take as many questions as we can. How much time do we have, Papya, for questions?
Yeah, we can take 8 to 10 minutes. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Thank you. So I think there's one for IITMAA. So from Mr. Vinay Khanna, and I'm going to let that be answered later. And he also asks, do you foresee this technology moving from AR/VR headset to a brain-computer interface?
Yeah. So brain-computer interface. Yes. Now, like Elon Musk has one particular company called Neuralink. Now, if you search for Neuralink, it will tell you. So the headset is connected to your head at the back, right? Whatever you think, you can actually you can interact with the virtual world just by thinking it, not necessarily moving the hands and all those things. Yes, it is moving towards it. Particularly all those Elon Musk kind of people, they want embedded chips in the head so that we can directly interact with the virtual worlds and all those things. But India is much more advanced. There are advanced BMI technologies, BCA technologies in India, which we have done some experiments. I'll be happy to share with you now how advanced Indian knowledge is. But now we have to do a rigorous science of it, rigorous scientific study of it. I'll be happy to talk to you now separately.
Okay. Thank you. So Mr. Sabri is asking, is the lab partnered with Meta?
Yes, so we are partnering with Meta. Meta is helping us in many different fronts, but also they are hesitating to release the headset in India, right? So that is why we are pushing them to manufacture the headset here in Chennai, because we are already manufacturing iPhones in Chennai. Why not we manufacture the headsets as well? So they have positively considered in the next 2 years, now all the headsets for Meta will be manufactured here in Chennai.
Okay. And Mr. Vinay Khanna again asks, can you relate the measurement of perception with direct brain measurements?
Yes, so brain measurement is a very crude. As of now, EEG, if you look at it, we can only now find out which part of the brain is actually activated. And therefore, we can only what do you call now guess what is going on, right? But what the user is actually thinking, we cannot figure it out. That is a current technology, right? So let me give an analogy of it. You have this hardware and then software. We need a OS in the hardware in order to run it. So hardware without the software is useless. Software without the hardware cannot run. So all these brain researchers is like a hardware. It is looking at only the hardware, whereas as the software part is missing. That's OS part is missing. OS part is what is perception engineering. And the hardware is what and all this EEG and all these things, right? So both this have to be now combined together in order to make very good use of it. I hope I've answered your questions. Thank you.
So Mr. Narayanan is asking, I see very limited engagement with Apple's Vision Pro AR VR. Is there a good reason for that?
Yes. So Apple Vision Pro they are calling it as a spatial technology, spatial engineering, or spatial computing. It's all AR, VR, but put it in a different way, right? So Meta wants to call it as a metaverse, and they have their own. Now there's a nomenclature fight between Apple and Meta, but one of the main problems with the Apple Vision Pro is that it is very, very costly. For Indian situation, it is not going to be now very much useful. It may be enterprise can adopt it, but common people cannot make use of it. So what India needs is a very, very affordable technologies. Even the Meta headset, which is costing about $200 or $300, that majority of Indians cannot afford it. Therefore, we need to come up with a much more affordable headset without compromising the quality. We want the same quality as Meta or the Apple Vision Pro, but at an affordable cost. And this is where the frugal innovation is needed. And this is what we are good at. And that is what we are going to do. I hope I have answered the questions. Thank you.
Yeah. So Mr. S.K. Pillai is asking applications in manufacturing.
Yes, applications manufacturing is enormous. As again, skill training is one thing. Straightforward answer is skill training. We need to very high end equipments are there, but to get them trained, again we can use AR VR technologies, and augmented reality can help you to improve the quality. So we want all these technologies to help the rural students. Rural students, they cannot come to the cities to get trained. They can get trained and wherever they are in, right? So all these diplomas colleges or the ITA industries, right? They will be modernized with the AR VR technologies in the next 5 years. We are going to work with this Ministry of Skill Training and then modernize the entire skill training using these technologies. When we modernize with AR VR, what is going to happen is that the measurements of progress can be monitored, and therefore whether they are really upskilled or not, the cost of skill training can be reduced, the quality of skill training can be now much better. And therefore, now we will be upskilling all our youngsters in the coming days. So manufacturing has a huge role, or huge applications using the AR VR. Thank you.
Mr. Vasan's question, is this a product model or a service model? For every client, we need to create a model and it takes time. What's your thought on scaling up for AR VR?
Yes. So for every client, today it is taking time, but we are soon coming with a Gen AI kind of age. Imagine in the next 1 year, we already have some tools. We'll have to just type in the ChatGPT to create certain models, 3D models. It gives you the 3D models in a few years. It is going to give you the AR VR model itself, Unity program itself. It will give you, so that immediately we can put it on a use headset and all those things. So this the whole pipeline is getting now revolutionized using the AI ML. Okay, so the things are going to be now much different in the coming days, and therefore the industry is also going to adapt it much better, and therefore the new use cases also will now emerge. Yeah.
Mr. Giri's question, is there any work going on in human anthropometry studies, data sets, local India specific, relevant for XR applications?
Yes, that's a very good question. Anthropometry measurements are being done. National Institute of Fashion Technologies, they are measuring the anthropometry data of many parts of the Indians to help them in the designing our what do you call outfits or dresses, right? But that is only the static. Anthropometry data also has the functional anthropometry data, where using this data we can design the interiors of the cars, interiors of the tanks, interiors of even the astronaut human capsule. And that is what we are working with ISRO. And yes, so far India did not have anthropometry data, but recently government has taken effort to create this data, and now we have some data available. India has a huge population, and we should have the most anthropometric data compared to anybody else. And at least now I'm very glad that we have woken up and we have created this technology using the AR VR, which is very affordable. We should create anthropometric data to the extent possible of the every country should make use of our data, because ours is the biggest market, and every country has to adapt to this market. To adapt to this market, they would need our anthropometry data, and we should create it and give it to them, so that now they customize all their products to our standards. I hope this will happen in the next couple of years. Thank you.
Mr. Bhagwat's question, you say Vision Pro is costly. Compare this with MS HoloLens.
Yes, MS HoloLens is actually now closed down. Its factory is shut down, and then Microsoft has now closed down the entire department. And related to HoloLens, all the activities in the other OEMs also is shut down. So Microsoft HoloLens is no way considered as a competition at all now. But now HoloLens is only the AR glasses, whereas Apple Vision Pro is the MR, mixed reality. It can act like a virtual reality. At the same time, it can do the augmented reality and also the mixed reality. So it is a very advanced headset, and but it is very costly. Thank you.
Mr. Srinivasan's question is, there was a question about BCI. Would you include in the scope of your technologies and tools? If yes, elaborate. If not, explain.
Can you repeat the question again, please?
There was a question about BCI.
Yes.
Would you include in the scope of your technologies and tools? If yes, elaborate. If not, explain.
Yes. So, yes, I definitely would include in the scope of our research, because because we wanted to design our ultimate AR VR headset or now ultimate XR. I wanted to end this presentation now with a question to all of you. What could be that ultimate XR? Ultimate XR in the sense, in my definition, there is nothing beyond better than that, right? So I wanted to ask all of you to think about what could be the ultimate XR. So like in the Matrix movie or any other recent movies, sci-fi movies, where now we just have this now electrode attached to it, and then immediately we get into the virtual world and without wearing headset and all those things, correct? So can you imagine what could be now better than this Matrix kind of imagination? So I would say that now ultimate XR is without any of the head gadgets, without the headset, without the earphones, without the haptic devices, without even the electrode like what they have shown it in the Matrix, without any attachment. Can I have the virtual experience? That would be the ultimate, XR. And I think that is possible with the BCI. And for that to happen, we need to understand the human perception to a large extent. And there is no other country in the world which understand the mind, human perception better than India. Right? So I believe the future is in India for XR. Only thing is we need to look at our strength, our knowledge system, and then bring this knowledge to the modern application through the rigorous scientific validation, not simply believing it, not simply boosting it, but through rigorous scientific validation, scientific work, and publications. Thank you.
Ms. Sridevi is asking if a pure biologist can take this course.
Yes, it needs a little bit of mathematics. You need to know algebra. Engineering mathematics, if you have done, it would really help. So it involves matrix operations, it involves quaternions, it involves differential equations, and then solving it, some little bit of numerical equations, solving it. So very basic first year engineering mathematics, if you have done, it would help you. Thank you.
Mr. Vinay Khanna, is UPS killing humans for different tasks, jobs, easier than simply training more robots to be trained instantly via AI?
UPI is?
Is UPS, actually, he said, is... Mr. Vinay Khanna, can you unmute and ask the question?
What is UPS?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
If you can unmute and explain, that would be good.
Yeah, I was just asking, I was talking about upskilling, just improving the skills for any job or task versus, so the word was upskilling, there's an extra space in there. That,
Okay.
Oh, is it? Okay, I see. Sure.
Upskilling.
Yeah, can you read the question again, Mr. Triveni?
Yes. Is upskilling humans for different task jobs easier than simply training more robots to be trained instantly via AI?
Okay, so the robots can do that task much better than human, but no, their intelligence is going to be limited, right? So whereas the human intelligence is much beyond comparison. So upskilling human is what very important, particularly countries like India. We need to focus on the human capital, not the technology capital, because we have so much of population to take care. We should not focus on the technology. The technology should empower people. We should not empower the technology. Other countries, they don't have the people to do their work. So therefore, they are focusing on the technology. Whereas we have the huge human potential, and we have to use this technology to upskill the human rather than focusing on the technology. The technology has to be improved, but we have to improve it in such a way that it empowers the human. And I believe the frugal innovation and is one area where we can focus on it and emphasize on it and lead the world with the frugal innovation. Thank you.
Mr. Giri is asking, do 3D holographic displays have a role in XR experiences? Is that a focus area?
Yes, 3D holographic displays, definitely it is in the future. But as of now, the technology is in a very rudimentary stages, and there needs a lot of researches which is going to happen. More than this, 3D holographic technologies, again, it is which is very costly, right? What people are looking at is the very affordable technologies. What Meta or other are working on is the very simple glasses like spectacles. You should be able to wear it and then experiencing the virtual reality worlds, right? It should not be bigger than the the glasses. Smart glasses is what they are talking about. But again, the technology of smart glasses is now slowly improving on it. There needs to be a lot of research needs to happen before we see all these 3 holographic kind of things on a smart glasses. So affordable technology of now holography now is the feature that will come eventually. Thank you.
Okay, so Mr. Hari Krishna has asked for the course link, and that will be sent to you from IITMAA. We also have our Center of Excellence page, XTIC.org, for those who are interested in joining the cave or seeing what we are doing. I see a lot of interest, and I see further questions. I'm going to ask the IITMAA team if we are running out of time before taking the remaining questions. Maybe they can mail it out and we can answer them. What do you think about that, Professor?
Yes, sure, definitely. I'll be happy to answer, but I think due to the interest of time, we need to hand over the
We'll ask
session to
Papia.
Yes.
Yeah.
We can ask Papia, what should we do?
Yeah, I think in interest of time, we're already running 15 minutes late.
Yeah. Yes.
We will be happy to send you the questions. No
Sure.
problem on that. And I also happy to let everybody on this call know that Professor Manivannan's team, Triveni, have got our alumni a discount for the NPTEL courses. IITMAA has been thinking about talking to NPTEL and doing these discounts for our alumni members, and we're so happy to let you know that this is possible now. It'll be a 20% discount on the NPTEL courses on this particular NPTEL course. So please stay tuned, and we will send out an email and all details about the course and how you can avail of this discount. I want to especially thank Professor Manivannan for making this happen, and of course Triveni as well. Thank you so much. I'm sure our alumni will be excited to have these discounts. Dear alumni members, already the courses on NPTEL are very nominal priced. But we're so good to I'm very excited that this collaboration is finally happening through IITMAA for our members in specific.
Yes.
Thank you, Professor. That was such a lovely session. It's so interesting to know the kind of things that are happening inside of IIT Madras campus to the rest of the community as a whole all over the world. Great things happening, such an interesting topic. And I think such big brand collaborations with the center. And I'm in fact hoping that we could bring the reunion batches to your lab for a visit during the reunions as well. What do you say, Professor?
Sure, definitely. I'll be very happy. And thank you, IITMAA, for giving the platform to reach out to our own alumni. And it is our pleasure to talk to them. And then they're all our we are looking for advices from them to scale up and focus on our researches. We'll be very happy to always looking forward to engaging our own alumni in every possible ways.
Thank you, Professor.
you.
Thank you, Triveni. Thank you to all our alumni members who very faithfully attend our Guru Talks, and your comments of encouragement and appreciation really help us to keep doing this for you every month onwards. Thank you, everybody. Good night. Have a great weekend. We will be in touch with you. Thank you so much. Thank you,
Thank you.
Papia, for organizing
Yeah.
this very
Yeah.
well.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
everybody.
Have
Good
a
night.
nice
Bye.
evening.
Bye.